The BurnMaster. Is it a fat burning device from the 80s? No, we already did this. This is a follow-up video to my video about the BurnMaster because since recording that, there have been some significant changes. I'm your cool Uncle Marissa, and I just want to talk really quickly about why the BurnMaster maybe is worth buying now. In case you forgot, this little guy is the BurnMaster. It's a cart flasher. If you know nothing about it, you can go ahead and watch my last video and then come back to this for some very pleasant news. Since my last video, there has been new firmware released for the BurnMaster, and I had no idea, but the firmware was published by HDR, so I feel like that gives it a lot of credibility too. The biggest gripe in my last video was that if you wanted to read ROMs and save off of cartridges you already own, you had to manually input the size of the ROM, which takes research or a very strange fixation where you have that all cataloged in your brain. But they fixed that with this newest firmware. It automatically reads the size and it rips the ROM nice and clean. You don't have to do any extra work there. This is very exciting because I finally managed to rip the classic Lilo and Stitch 2, which was our guinea pig in the last video. So I think this gives this a big leg up from what it already had. It is now worth competing with the Joey Jr. and the GBxCartRW at about half of the price of the latter. Of course, it's not perfect, and I think the fact that it is a standalone device makes it prone to some more issues. Especially if you've been on Ben Ven's Discord, you will see that a lot of people will talk about rewritable bootleg carts, and these are video game carts from China. You can usually find them on AliExpress. Sometimes they're actually, the game, sometimes they're ROM hacks, and generally these carts are rewritable with various degrees of success. They're about, $1 or $2 each. So I figured I will try and see if they are rewritable on the BurnMaster. So I grabbed two games. I grabbed a copy of Pokemon Radical Red. You guys remember this classic game? It's a ROM hack. This one was actually suggested on the Ben Ven Discord, so I felt pretty good about it. The other one I got was Pokemon Crystal Dust version, the other classic. This one I got because I liked the shell and I wasn't sure if it would work or not. So here's my experience, or if it's the bootleg cart's fault, but I am leaning on it was my fault. So it got to erasing 100% on the BurnMaster, and then it kind of just stayed that way, and I thought, oh, maybe it needs a reboot. So I reboot my BurnMaster and the cart is now corrupt. Not a big loss financially, but that pointed out a flaw in the BurnMaster being standalone. So I'm not 100% sure because I haven't used another cart flasher, but I suspect if you were using a Joey Jr. or a GBxCartRW, which hook up to your computer, you would be able to at least learn more about what is going on, what the corruption in the cart is, if not fix it. But with the BurnMaster, all it does is it tells you error, reboot the BurnMaster, and you do, and it's still an error. So then I dumped Pokemon Emerald onto Radical Red, and it worked fine. Just a note about any games like Pokemon games that use a battery when it comes to the original hardware, it's probably better to just run those off of a flash cart. If you're going to dump them on a boot like this, you should probably back up your saves pretty frequently, because it's kind of this cyclical thing where you need to patch them for batteryless saves, and the patches that you use have been ripped from Chinese bootlegs. So the Chinese bootlegs are, we have Pokemon at home, and then you putting the patch from the Chinese bootlegs is we have Pokemon Chinese bootlegs at home. I have included a link in the description for both patchers as well as a GitHub full of patches for any games that use batteries, and also a link to a list of games that do use batteries. memories. Ostensibly, it should be fine if you back up your saves frequently. Otherwise, the flashing on bootlegs is just, it's fun, it's cheap, it can be a good way maybe to make gifts for your friends. But you know, I honestly don't even know what this whole cart flasher thing is for. My whole point was I want to flash a Potris for my girlfriend, and I did that. So let me know in the comments what some other use cases might be that I could use mine for. But for now, the best thing about this guy is it's cheap and it's cute. So even if I never use it again, it does make a pretty neat display piece. I still haven't aesthetified it, but you might see it aesthetified in my B-roll because the buttons are out for delivery. But anyway, that was just a quick update. I hope it was helpful. I think, again, it makes it a lot more worth buying, more bang for your buck, more reason to be competitive with the existing options, and the update in firmware also gives me some sort of assurance that this might be an ongoing thing and we will continue to see updates in the future and more expanded abilities from the BurnMaster. Nonetheless, I have been your cool Uncle Marissa, and I hope to see you in the next one.